Okay, people, I'm going to call this video No Guarantees. The reason why it's called No Guarantees is because there is no guarantees. If you get COVID, there is no guarantee that when you are done with COVID, that you will be immune to COVID. There is no guarantee that if you do build immunity, how long that immunity will last. It could last 1 week, it could last 3 months. Okay, there's no guarantee. If you are exposed to COVID, there's no guarantee you will catch COVID. If you catch COVID, there is no guarantee that you will have symptoms, that you will have mild symptoms, that you will have severe symptoms, or that you will die. These are the science of COVID. That's just the way COVID is. So you need to approach COVID as one of the most uncertain things in your life, that there are absolutely no guarantees. You could have 5 people in your family. You catch COVID. You have no symptoms whatsoever. You give it to the next person in your family, or you're around the next person in your family. They don't catch it. For some reason, they just don't catch it. The next person up, they catch it and they just have a headache or dizziness or allergy type symptoms. No biggie. Push them aside. The next person who catch it, they end up with harsh breathing symptoms, inability to eat, the whole works, and they end up in the hospital. And they come out of it. The next person who catches it can end up with all of that and die. Now, the other uncertainty is that you catch it, you never show any symptoms whatsoever, you never get a fever. The person who has the kind of allergy symptoms, it's a 50-50 chance they can end up with a fever. The person who ends up in the hospital, 50-50 chance they run a fever. It's not guaranteed. No guarantees in this. A lot of people do run a fever with it. Some people don't. No guarantee. That's why I call it the no guarantee virus. There is no guarantee that if you catch it and show no symptoms, that the next guy in your family will show no symptoms. I've caught it. I had dizziness and whatnot. My son caught it. He had dizziness. But I don't think I really ever ran a fever. I may have at one point at night ran one fever. I'm not sure because I didn't have a thermometer. But because my fingers and my toes and everything felt hot, I figured it was a fever. It wasn't like a normal, at 56 years old, a normal hot flash. It was different. So I thought maybe I was running a fever. But there's no guarantee you're going to run a fever. That's why there is no guarantee in COVID. None. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee you're going to show symptoms. There's no guarantee you're going to have a fever. There is no guarantee how bad your symptoms will be. There's no guarantee you'll end up in the hospital. And there's no guarantee you will die. There is a chance of all of the above. But unless you have a crystal ball, unless you can see future situations with yourself, you'll never know. So you can get COVID today because you're too stubborn to wear a mask, or because you get exposed to somebody who won't wear a mask. You can get COVID today and experience anything from a range of nothing to a slight cold or allergies, to hospitalization, to death. You don't know which one you're going to get. So you need to stop thinking, well, just because you got it doesn't mean we're going to get it as bad. No, it doesn't. Or just because you got it and you came out of it with a light headache and whatever, I'm going to get it and be that way. No. You might get it and you might end up dead. You might give it to somebody who will end up dead. There's no guarantees. So stop looking for one. Everything in life does not have a guarantee. Your life alone, even if COVID wasn't there, has no guarantees. That's the way life is. You may want things to go a certain way. There's no guarantee it will go that way. There's all kinds of factors that can change what direction your life goes in. There's all kinds of factors that can change how COVID will affect you. And you need to remember that. COVID is nothing more than a life form going through life with no guarantee on how it is going to be interactive with your body symptoms and where it is going to end up going in your body. No guarantees. So that's why this video is called No Guarantee. In fact, I think I'll call it No Guarantee, the Life of COVID. Because that's the way it goes. And for some people, there's no guarantee you'll have it for 1 week or 28 days. There's one person who came off of that cruise ship, went in the hospital, and he had that COVID for 28 days in his system. So for 28 days, if anybody without a mask went around him, he would have infected somebody. Because there's no guarantees. The only guarantee you can have, to any extent, is the test. And even that is not 100% guarantee. That's 70% guarantee. So stop thinking about this virus as nothing. You can guarantee you will not get sick and die. Because there's no guarantees. Start thinking it as the biggest uncertainty in your life. Because that's what it is. The biggest uncertainty. You have no absolute positive proof of how it will act on you. And if you've never been tested on a regular basis, you have no proof that you've never had it. You have absolutely no proof whatsoever that you never got COVID and was asymptomatic, showing no symptoms whatsoever, and spread it to somebody else. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee to it. Unless you are regularly tested and you tested positive at some point in time, there is no guarantee. If somebody in your family gets COVID, there is no guarantee that you were not positive at some point in time and gave it to that person. No guarantee. Not unless you test. That's all there is to it. There's no guarantee. So look at COVID that way. Look at COVID the way you look at your life from the time you were born until the time it comes for you to die. Whether you die by a car accident, a murder, bad illness, cancer, or just naturally get old and die. There's no guarantee how you will die in your lifetime. And there's no guarantee how COVID is going to affect you. None. Until you can show me a crystal ball that'll tell me exactly what will happen to you, there's no guarantee.